How the fuck am I going to pronounce this? I'm not even going to bother.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. How the fuck you pronounce this, I have absolutely no idea. I think it's, and I apologise to any Lithuanians watching, I'm sure you'll correct me. As a stupid Englishman, I'm going to try and pronounce it as Svyturys Gintarinis. Svyturys Gintarinis. That's probably completely fucking wrong, but I just cannot fucking pronounce that word. But it means lighthouse. Svyturys, Svyturys, I think it is. I think that's how it's pronounced. It means lighthouse in Lithuanian. And I was on my travels and I discovered a supermarket had just opened up round the corner, and they've got a shitload of foreign beer. And I see some of this stuff in the corner and I just thought it was Czech beer, really obscure Czech beer, so I just gathered up an armful of it, one of each, got it home, did a bit of research, and I realised it's Lithuanian. I've got some Latvian beer in there as well and some Estonian beer too. So interesting. I've never had Estonian beer, I don't think, and I don't think I've had Latvian beer. I've had Lithuanian beer before, one of the recent reviews I did. And this is the second beer from that shop. But they've got some really good beers in there, and I think I may have to go there again. But you know what I really like about Lithuanian beer? The cans are a pint, and they are 548 millilitres. Not your fucking 440 millilitres that you get in craft beer, and a lot of the fucking macro brewers are doing it now, but still charging the fucking same price. Or more even. The dirty bastards. But there you go. This is a Pilsner. It's brewed in Lithuania and it's been imported over here. I cannot find any information about this at all. Even on the brewery website, it does not mention their Pilsner. I don't know whether it's a limited edition beer. I don't know much about it at all. There's a lot of Cyrillic writing on here. I'm imagining that this is exported to Russia, because it's just on that side, it's just full of Cyrillic writing. Now I know they don't use Cyrillic in Lithuania, so I'm imagining this is exported there. But it's, what does it contain? Yeah, you never get the real ingredients on beer anyway. This is a Carlsberg job. They own the brewery, but the brewery has got some history. It goes back to 1784, I think. And it's the second oldest brewer in Lithuania. I've never heard of them before, to my eternal shame. And obviously they've been taken over by the Carlsberg brewery, but there's a Baltica. If you've heard of Baltica, they're owned by Carlsberg as well, but that's the sort of umbrella that it comes under. And considering Carlsberg have taken over Marston's now, and considering Carlsberg is shit fucking lager, I haven't really got high hopes for this. But you never know. I'm always willing to be surprised by foreign beer. I can't remember, I should have looked it up before I did this one, but there's a beer that comes in like a really odd shaped bottle, and I think it's Estonian. I really didn't have high hopes for it, and I tried it and I was absolutely blown away by it. It was fantastic, and for the life of me I can't remember. I'll put the name of it here. That was a really good beer. Had a touch of Belgian yeast in it, and it just made it really interesting, and that blew me away. And I don't think I'm going to get this again, but I could be wrong. Brewed in a brewery that is based in a place called Klaipėda, which is the I think it's the second or third largest city in Lithuania, but it's the only port that they've got there, and it doesn't ice up in the winter. It's on the Baltic. It doesn't ice up in winter, so it's quite an important inlet, because all the other ports there, they ice up. It's because it gets fucking cold around here in winter. Not a nice place. Used to be called Memel. It used to be under German occupation during World War II, and it was also part of Germany, or part of the German, would it be the German Commonwealth? I know it's part of the Polish Commonwealth, but it was controlled by Germany up until 1919, and the Treaty of Versailles meant they had to surrender it. But a lot of the beer tradition comes from Germany, hence the Pilsner name, but they also used to brew Bock beer as well. I don't know whether that's going to have any bearing on how this tastes now, but we shall see. So without further ado, let's get it open. Before we do, let's just quickly investigate it. As I say, I really don't know much about this beer at all, and I'm winging it basically. But it's a Pilsner. It's called Gintarinis. The English are fucking useless at foreign languages, aren't they? Gintarinis, I think that's how it's pronounced. Could be wrong. There is an absolute fucking shit ton of writing on the side of it, all in Cyrillic. What else we got? 4.6%, 568ml. Oh, I love it. It's a pint. It's an imperial pint. Can't go wrong. What else we got? We've got a load of Lithuanian and Russian stuff, and that's it. It's got the ingredients: water, hops and barley and malt. No yeast. They never put the yeast in there. Let's get it open. Let's stop guessing. Right, as I say, I haven't got really high hopes for this. It's from Carlsberg, and Carlsberg, their speciality is shit beer. Hence the reason they've taken over Marston's. But I could be wrong. I'm always willing to be proved wrong. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Very light. It does look like a Pilsner, a German Pilsner. Foamy, 2-finger white head. On the nose. Slightly interesting. A little bit of spice on there. And a little bit of lemon, I'd say lemon citrus. But there is a little touch of hop character on there, not a lot. Hence the reason why Carlsberg have taken it over. But yeah, the aromas aren't big. And when the aromas aren't big, generally, not all the time, but generally, the beer ain't good. That's all I'm going to pour out for now. It looks like a typical German Pilsner, medium carbonation, small bubbles, 1.5 finger, foamy white head. Yeah, not much of an aroma at all. If you really put your mind to it, you can get some vague hop notes on there, but not a great deal. Let's get it down the hatch and see what's going on. I don't know what the fuck cheers is in Lithuanian. I'm just going to say bottoms up. That reminds me of Tiskia, which tasted of fuck all. There's hardly any flavour in that whatsoever. I did sort of get this. This is not really a surprise to me. If you're going to be buying stuff like this obscure beer from a supermarket chain, regardless of size, generally, not all the time, but generally, certainly the smaller ones, They're going to be buying from wholesalers who buy from big corporations. It doesn't make economical sense for them to be buying what I would class as artisanal type beers. They had a lot of Brewdog stuff in that shop. Don't worry, I will not be buying that shit. But they genuinely tend to go for the bigger brewers, if not macro brewers. And this, I think, is the result. It's obviously owned by Carlsberg. Carlsberg have got a massive distribution capability, and they don't really, in my opinion, concentrate on flavour. They're more concerned with volume and just your average lager drinker. And to be honest, this is slightly sweet, and it doesn't really do much. There's a little bit of a malt finish on the arse end of it, but there's no big flavours, and I'm sort of wondering, have I just bought a bag load of shit from around the corner? The first one wasn't great, and as I said, Lithuania, yeah, they do have a couple of good brewers, but I don't think this lot are one of them. Certainly not with this Pilsner. It tastes like it's got some sort of glucose sweetener added to it. There's a little bit of sweetness on it, and it's just run of the mill. There's nothing that would make me want to buy this again. And considering that they sell Budvar round the corner, I would rather drink that. At least Budvar's got a bit of character to it. This stuff has got 3/8 of fuck all. It's just bland. Maybe on a hot day and this came out of the fridge, it wouldn't be too bad, but it's just a guzzler. It's one of them ones that you put it this way, you wouldn't buy it for the flavour, because it's not really got much. There's a little bit of a honey sweetness to it, little touch of bread malt on the finish, and not a lot else. It smells sort of macro brewed. There's no real quality ingredients that come out of it. And I was sort of looking at the old YouTube the other day, and there's an Italian chef. I've mentioned him before in a couple of videos, but I quite like his videos, and it's called Vincenzo's Plate. If you ever get a chance, watch it. And he's an Italian chef, and he judges people on how they do Italian dishes, and he's very open-minded, and he'll look at what people are adding and how they're cooking it, and he'll take tips and he'll say, yeah, quite nice. And I like his attitude, but he's got a very traditional attitude, and when people put certain ingredients into Italian dishes, he really doesn't like it. He gets the ump, rightly so. He's a chef and he's passionate about what he does, and he does say this is just completely against what any Italian would do. But one thing he does do is he assesses the ingredients and the quality of the ingredients as well, and he sort of says, you know, don't eat any processed foods, just get fresh pasta, how to cook the pasta, you know, how to do it properly. And the point I'm trying to make here is that's kind of the attitude I've got towards beer. If you're going to use shitty ingredients, then you're going to get a shit product. And brewers of this size, I mean, they're the second biggest brewer. I think they're the second biggest brewer. They're certainly big anyway. Well, they're owned by Carlsberg now, so they're pretty big. But you know, Carlsberg are bean counters, and they ain't going to buy the best ingredients, and they get massive reduction on bulk buying. And of course, if you buy bulk, you're going to buy not the best quality. And you can sort of get that here. And the product is, I would say, just drinkable. That's the best compliment I can give it. I'm not knocking it. It's not the worst beer. It's not on a par with your Carlins and your Fosters and all them other Budweisers and then them fucking abortions, but it ain't that great when it comes to flavour. And in a shop that sells stuff like Budvar, they've got Pilsner Urquell around there as well. And I'm going to buy them any day of the week over this stuff. But, and I don't know why they bought it, because there ain't many Lithuanians around here, so I'm not really sure who's going to buy it. Mugs like me, I suppose. And yeah, they've not mugged me off. I knew exactly what I was doing. I was buying beer that I hadn't tried before that I want to review, and here I am reviewing it. But if you can find it, it really doesn't do much for me at all. So what's the verdict on Svyturys Gintarinis? Well, apart from having a fucking unpronounceable name, certainly to an ignorant Englishman like me, yeah, this really isn't doing much for me at all. It's one of them beers that you'd need to see in one of them bargain stores, and if it was, I'd say, £1 a can, then yeah, get some. But drink it ice cold on a really hot day with a barbecue, and this will just, you know, it's a palate cleanser. That's the best I can do. It really hasn't got any discernible flavour or character that I can make out, and yeah, I do wonder why people would bother. I don't know, they do, because obviously if they're from Lithuania, they want to drink the beers from their country. Certainly, you know, people who know that beer would want to drink it again, but having tried it now, it's reminding me of Tiskia. That's a Polish beer that's quite widely available in the UK, and it's just, it really doesn't taste of anything. And this is on a par with it. Instantly forgettable. Just a chugger that you'd throw down your neck and forget about it. Yeah, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10. There's no real nasties in it, but it just lacks character. And being owned by Carlsberg, I sort of got that impression anyway. I've tried a few of their Baltic beers before. I tried the Baltica. I think that's on the channel. Reviewed that. Really didn't think much of that. I've tried the other Lithuanian beer that's on the channel. These names, I cannot fucking pronounce them, let alone remember them. But I tried the other one before, and it was in a pretty similar vein. And that was owned by a big Finnish conglomerate. So, yeah, I'm not impressed. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Am I going to recommend it? If you can get it for £1 a can in a bargain shop, then yeah, maybe. But otherwise, I'd give that a swerve. It's nothing like a Pilsner. Doesn't, to me, not what I'd expect from a Czech Pilsner or a German Pilsner. I know it's Lithuanian, but I don't know why they've even called it Pilsner. It's more like a macro brewed fucking lager to me, but there you go. And remember, I'm drinking this shit, so you don't have to.